What's up, Detroit? What is happening? What up, though? My name is Joel Fluent Greene, and welcome to another awesome edition of Pockets of Joy. This is our last one in the whole series, so welcome. Thank you for being here. Of course, this series is brought to you by Detroit Historical Society and yours truly, Joel Fluent Greene Presents. I am really excited to have the illustrious author, writer, playwright. She does it all. She's a force to be reckoned with. She's a literal institution out here doing the work all around the world. My homegirl, my friend, my kind of close neighbor, I love it to death. My sister, Miss Jessica Care Moore. What up, though?
Yeah, what up, though? I'm so happy to be here. Happy to talk to somebody I know about this work, and really, it's really just dope because you actually ordered my book. Thank you. Yeah, you actually ordered the book as opposed to just liking it on Instagram and Facebook. You actually did a purchase, so I love you for that. Yeah, it's a deep time, right? It's a lot going on. So happy to connect with people, especially in my city, right? So that this is like the Pockets of Joy thing. I've been complaining a lot about being online, to be honest, because I'm doing a lot of online right now, to the point that sometimes my head is spinning, my eyes are hurting. But it actually makes me happy. You know, I can't even front on it. Like, it makes me feel good to like talk to you, to talk to people about my work, because I haven't had the opportunity to do that because the tour got canceled. So I want to share the work so much, and so now I'm able to share it at least digitally until we get back to being outside again.
Well, let's dive right into that, because you are a literal working artist. Like so many of us, you know, we do the work, but we're not like thriving off the work. This is how you live your life. You travel the world, take care of your family, do all this stuff through your work. And you have this new book published by HarperCollins, We Want Our Bodies Back, which is a dope book, by the way. I read a couple of pieces. I'm going to get into more today. I'm excited about that. Beautiful day. I might go sit in the park or something.
Nice. I'm scared to go anywhere, but bless you for that. Go for it. I keep it on my patio, though. I might hit my patio because when the sun is out, I just sit on my patio and for a while and just take the sun in. You know, I'm a little shell shocked, to be honest.
People with patios.
Yeah, you can go sit on my patio. Bring your mask. You can bring your mask and sit on my patio.
Spray me down before I like sit down.
6 feet in fire. Sit over there, but it's all good. We can chat it up.
I have this question on my list of questions, but I want to get into it now since you brought it up.
Okay.
Like, what is it like, this adjustment? Because you're on this whole like beautiful turning point in your career. I mean, you've been a force for years, but now it's like your career is like you stay fresh for one. You know, you like the Erykah Badu of poetry. Like you stay.
Oh my God, please don't make me Erykah Badu of poetry. My God. Me and Erykah, you know, come from the same place though, to be honest. Like we were both on the open mic scene in Brooklyn in 1995 and 96. And we remember when Erykah got signed, and you know, so I mean, people have made that comparison with us, you know, like over the years, and I don't mind it. I love her to pieces, and she wild Texas country girl, you know. And I actually wrote a poem for her that ended up on Def Poetry Jam called Warriors Walk Alone. I wrote it about her when she, because people were giving her negative feedback about she had these long lock extensions in her hair one time. I mean, we're artists. We do all kinds of different stuff to our style, and you know what I mean? And I believe in showing up for the stage that way. But then she cut all her hair off and was bald and super fine with her beautiful eyes and her bald head. And then I was like, now what? Now what? Now I cut it all off. Now I'm bald. Now what y'all gonna say about it? So yeah, shout out to Erykah Badu. I ain't mad at the comparison. It's all good.
I only say that, well, actually, maybe she's the Jessica Care Moore of neo soul, because honestly, you've been out there. And you know, the thing is, the reason why I make the comparison is because you all managed to do what you need to do to like not stay relevant, but you're just relevant. You're doing the work. You've been out here, but you stay fresh. It's like your career is like, like you didn't know you started in 95 unless you told somebody and people were familiar with your career, because your book, work, play, you know.
It's been a long time. You know, I've been in the work for a long time, and I've had the really amazing opportunity to perform in places like South Africa and in Ghana, West Africa in 2018 into 2019 during like the first return. We did our return 28 into 2019 with me and my son in Shanghai and Hong Kong. Like to be able to travel with the work. I'm a Black girl from the west side of Detroit. I went to Cody High School, and I haven't escaped that girl. That's who I am. I really am. I'm evolved. I'm wise. I'm smarter. But everywhere I go, I take Detroit with me. I take all those memories and experiences. the people I've loved here, the people I've lost here. Even when I moved to New York in '95 and became immersed in like the poetry and the hip hop scene there, you know, that's when Mos and Talib were on the poetry scene too, and Dead Prez. Like we were all hanging out together, and really interesting people, even though like Roger Guinevere Smith and Isaiah Washington, like other actors were coming around hearing about what was happening. And so I moved to New York after being a part of the hip hop scene in Detroit, you know, very much a part of that scene. And, you know, Proof was one of my dearest friends, and reading poems on open mics at hip hop spots, right? Like I went from that to like going to New York, and I wasn't scared of being around MCs, around poets, around being from Detroit. And that's why my life changed so quickly with the Apollo. I was still learning the trains. I literally didn't even still know how to get around New York City by myself for real when I won the Apollo. I was 5 months in to this big old city, and my life changed so fast. But the reason why a person like Erykah Badu or even myself can stay relevant and new is because it's the reinvention. Like I never settled for the Apollo. Everyone goes back to the Apollo, and I'm proud of the Apollo stage appearance. But it's not the only thing that defined my work. And I've done so many other things, like doing the United Nations World AIDS Day with Kofi Annan. Like that was a defining stage for me too. Like there's so many other spaces I've been in, even quiet spaces where there's nobody. Like you, how you're doing the work with Mariners Inn. Like I've been in safe houses for the women who've been survivors of domestic abuse. I've been in those spaces with just like 10 women, and those spaces don't leave me. The work inside jails and prisons, that's the non-glamorous work that I do quietly, that I've been doing, that has been a constant connection to my life work, that isn't bells and whistles, but it feeds me. And I think that's the karma that you get back from giving like that is why I'm still here.
I love that. That's that work. You've been doing it for real. So for people that you mentioned, Apollo, I'm sure most people should know because you're out here visible doing stuff. They should know, you know what I'm saying? Free press, articles, this and that. Yeah. You're doing it. But if they don't know, your career started, let's start before Apollo, okay? Because
Apollo,
so talking about Cafe Mahogany, but you came up as Pour Me Cafe.
Pour Me Cafe was my spot.
Yeah,
right on Grand River, tree spot, right? Like it was 3:30. What is it now? It's
TV Lounge.
TV Lounge, right? So TV Lounge used to be Pour Me Cafe, and it was Directions Hair Salon. So it was like, that's when Zaina, you know, some spectacles, and Toya Hankins and all that, they put me on my first shows there. And it was interesting. It was still very male dominated. I actually just found a picture from that one of the times. It was me, Freeway, Natural, Khaled. It was crazy. But I was just on an open mic there. I was a student at Wayne State University. I was, my voice was heavy enough where it cut through, but I was really an activist in Detroit more than anything else. I was an activist that could write poems. You know, I didn't take myself, I wanted to be a journalist. I didn't want to be a poet for a living. I wanted to write stories. I wanted to do documentary film. So I really was more interested in being a journalist because I thought that's what I could do and make money. I didn't think poetry would make me money. I thought poetry would be something I just write. And if somebody likes it, cool. But it changed quickly. I remember doing like Black Statue of Liberty. I opened for the Last Poets before I moved to New York. Abiodun and Umar and Babatunde were here for a show then was Pour Me Cafe. And so it was them and D Knowledge, you know, rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
It was D Knowledge, right? It's Derek and the Last Poets and me. I was like the opening act. And I remember going in the backstage to Umar, who's my baba to this day, who tells the story. They all tell the story different, just so you know, because your baba's got their own idea of what happened. So Doom got a version, Umar got a version, and I know the real thing. So went backstage and I told them, I want y'all to come hear me. Well, what you about to do? I said, I'm about to do some poetry. Y'all gonna like it, you know. And then I remember doing Black Girl Juice, and Umar Ben Hassan from the Last Poets with his Scorpio cell had that glass up in the air like, yo! And then Abiodun was like, you come to New York, you a bad sister. You come to New York, you call us. And I called. I went to New York City to see my cousin graduate from NYU. I was hanging out in Harlem like a tourist. And I called Abiodun from 125th Street. I had just done there was a Sony Music was having a talent search for $20, right? Some hustle. So 20, Mad Maria Davis, who actually was a very famous promoter back in the day in the 90s. She had Mad Wednesdays. She happened to be there. And they saw me. Do you know Maria Davis?
She's from Harlem.
Yeah, she's an activist.
I met her at the Shrine a few months ago when I was in New York. I met her at the Shrine.
Shut up! I love her. Okay. Oh, I love amazing. Oh, so dope. So she's a really special person, a big activist now, and she saw me. Like there was just a panel, and my family was eating at Sylvia's, like doing like the typical touristy thing. And I was like, oh, I want to audition. I was like, they were like, what you do? I'm like, I'm a poet. Man, I had a poem called White Girl Juice at the time, Black Girl Juice. I was blah blah blah, and the tent went crazy. I was like, it was my first New York experience. I was like, damn, these people, like it felt different than honestly even being in Detroit. They went bananas. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to hang out here for a little bit longer. And I ended up going home and I moved. I packed up my truck. Proof was supposed to drive me to New York. I found a little share with a Jamaican girl named Patricia, which is crazy because in Detroit, we don't move in with strangers. So they had something called a share. And I was like, what is a share? When you move into a room with a person you don't know and y'all share space. It was very bizarre. That lasted a very short period of time. But I did that, moved to Horton Skimmerhorn, my first apartment, and I just immersed myself. I found all the poets. I've been looking in the poetry book aloud, New Rican Poetry Aloud, In the Tradition by Kevin Powell and Raz Baraka. I found all those poets. They're my friends to this day. I talk to Kevin Powell every day. So people that I was looking for. I remember Reggie Gaines. I was trying to find him because he did Bring the Noise, Bring the Funk. And I became a reporter for the Daily Challenge. I just went fearlessly into the unknown, to be honest. My daddy died in January of 1994, which I know you know that. And when my daddy died, it was kind of like Detroit, I was over it. I was like, anything that would have kept me from going to New York, which honestly would have been Tom Moore, would have been like, you ain't going to New York by yourself. Are you crazy? I would have never left my daddy. My daddy dying literally propelled me to leave Detroit and be fearless and do something very crazy, like take my last paycheck from Channel 50. I was working as a news writer, was up for a full-time news writer, associate producer job when I left Detroit. I was only 22. And that was a good job as a person who wanted to be a journalist, who wanted to be an anchor, but an anchor that didn't want to have to straighten my hair, an anchor that wanted to wear box braids, so it really wasn't the space for me probably in the long run. Maybe more now, it's more open, but then it was like, you got to look like these white girls. You got to have the same hairstyle that they have, and I was already rebelling against that idea. So life changed quickly, for me in New York City, long story short. But because I'm an institution builder and because I'm from Black Detroit, it was not enough to win the Apollo. I had to start something. I was like, okay, I have to build an institution around this. It wasn't enough. That Shirley MacLaine knew who I was in Central Park. It was bugged out. Shirley MacLaine came up to me. She said, I know who you are. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. Wu-Tang Clan, like Sons of Man, Jizza, like I met all them, got Karis one. And that's how I got on the Nas, ultimately got on the Nas project because Nas saw me. He was there as a guest and I was there as a guest after I won. And our dressing rooms were across from each other. And he heard me at sound check. And he walked on stage on the sound check and shook my hand and said, sis, keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, you're Nas. I was a big fan. And we ended up recording. He was the first rapper to actually put me on an album in 1999.
Yeah, it was Nostradamus, right?
Yeah, the prediction and the outcome. I opened and closed it. I wish I knew it. Afro Angels, How My Weapons and Tangles, Black Star Spangled, Fragile Like Hematite, With the East Is All Right, Without the Lack of Sunlight, Got My Battle Boots Tight. Now that the government's gone, can't tell your left from your right wing assassins laughing while the new world's collapsing. Something.
That was something.
I know some of it.
I love it. So it seems like to me that when you know yourself and you kind of like have faith and you're putting yourself in these positions where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm Jessica Care Moore. I want to meet this person. Bam, I meet that person. I want to perform on the stage. Bam, I end up performing on this stage. I want to go to this country and perform and reach the youth there. Bam, you make it happen. Like, what is it about the universe that you feel like has been on your side this whole time?
I think it's my daddy. I've been thinking that. That's why I cried on the Apollo. People are like, why are you crying? I was like, I wasn't crying because I was winning. I was crying because my daddy wasn't there and he was there. And so that's been my ancestor. I think that's been pushing me. and a lot of other ancestors too. I definitely don't believe in being a broke artist. I just never believed in being a starving artist. I think artists deserve to be paid for their time, for what we give to the universe, like what we're giving now online, like how we're giving, how I'm exhausted from giving. And, you know, the honorariums, what I'm used to getting is now going to like donation. It's donation level honorariums. It's a donation for me. It's something that I just give to King. It's maybe can pay a phone bill. It's not my real money. And so, you know, this is a learning curve. I think for institutions and people who do have programming dollars, to find a way to still take care of artists, so that, I mean, because I have no income, so I don't have a day job, right? I got denied self-employment. I have to fight. Like I have to, after I talk to you sometime today, I have to go send a letter to the state of Michigan to give them permission to check my identity. Something happened in a glitch on the computer where they couldn't check my identity. So I have to like fight and protest for my self-employment. And so, but what's really deep about self-employment is that I've needed self-employment so many other times, because full-time artists have these schedules that fluctuate. So sometimes I'm working and then there's like 2 months where there's no work. And during those time periods, we should be able to get unemployment. And this is not something that other countries don't do. Like, if there hasn't been a President Barack Obama included, that created a space for artists, working artists. I'm not talking about major recording artists that got Grammys and millions of dollars. I'm talking about artists like myself who are independent, artists like Divinity Rocks, like Yazra, like every single woman that does Black I'ma Rock. They're all independent, hardcore artists who are grinding and always working for the gig. We're gig workers. That thing they're talking about, when they talking about Uber drivers, I was like, dude, I'm a gig worker. All I do is do gigs. Like, gigs pay me. And I lost about 50K in appearances just in March and April. And so, you know, my whole world is upside down right now, but it's gonna be something we have to learn from and figure out. Because I make my money in seasonally. So I make money in the spring that gets me to the fall. And then I make money in the fall that gets me through the winter. I mean, it's just how it works. It's how it's been working. It's not, any artist that you talk to will say the same thing, you know, that isn't signed to a major. And even like the book, like HarperCollins, you know, book publishing houses care about book sales. Book sales help me, but as you know, it doesn't go directly to me. Like it's not more Black press doing the book. So I need people to buy We Want Our Bodies Back, but I also need people to go to JessicaCareMore.com and buy Sunlight Through Bullet Holes if they haven't bought it yet. Buy my vinyl record. Buy the We Want Our Bodies Back T-shirt. I have Detroit Thick T-shirts, like pushing people, and people have been supporting Detroiters. And I sent those packages out around the country, but Detroit people have been ordering. Michigan folks have been ordering, and so supporting artists for real. Because people act like they love artists, but you know how even when you run venues, people don't even want to pay $10.
Oh,
come on, like you don't want to pay $10, and you got 15 people performing for you, entertaining you, and you don't want to pay $10 or $15. Like, nah. And so that's why Black I'ma Rock, you know, I used to charge, it was free. Then I was like, nah, 20. And I was like, no, wait a minute, this is $40. You know, like, let me take it. It's actually $100 ticket. I watch people pay $400 to $600 for a Beyonce ticket. So they could pay $100 for women that are just as talented. And it's 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of them. It's like 10 different women that are like killing you with like all kinds of beautiful energy and fineness and sexuality and Black excellence, right? And so I've been thinking real heavy about, when I did Black I'ma Rock digital edition, I thought real heavy about the women. I was looking in their faces and I was like, ain't none of us got any money right now. And so, and it's okay to say that. I don't feel guilty as an artist to say artists need support too. Yes, other people need support too, but I have a mortgage and a child, you know what I mean? And another son that needs me. And so we need to support, and I've done what I can to support. I'm a person that needs support, and I've also supported, you know, because that comes back to you. So I do what I can to support the other artists. And so I think eventually I'm thinking about a GoFundMe for Black I'ma Rock artists, so I can give out the same kind of funding. I want to just shout out the Grammys. I applied for so many grants. I did get $1,000 grant from Music Cares. That was the longest application I filled out. It was a lot to prove that I was actually an industry professional. You had to prove a lot of discography and videos. And so I'm grateful to Talib Kweli for my videos that when he put my album out in 2015, Black Tea, because he also produced and funded videos for me. So shout out to Talib Kweli, and I love him. So yeah, man, it's good. But you know what? I'm writing Fluent, like I'm calling you Fluent. I'm writing, Joe. I'm writing. I wasn't writing. I like calling you Fluent. And so I'm writing. I wasn't writing because I was traumatized, and I'm still traumatized, right? I mean, Mike Huckabee just died. I mean, I've been crying, you know what I mean? It's like, I'll cry now talking about it. Like, I've lost so many people. We've lost people that we both know. Brenda Perriman was it's my whole, like, I love her so much, you know what I mean? My friend Nikki Barksdale, like, that was the first hit that I got that was very close. My longtime friend she was in 7th grade when we met. We lived on Hayden together. So she's family. My best friend's, sister. So it's just been a lot of pain. And so the pockets of joy, it's really important. Like, I got really happy because I ordered some socks. I know it sounds crazy, but I got these socks in the mail and they're so like cushy and warm. And I was like, I love my new socks. Like, just little things. Watching King play piano and watching King kill online Google Classroom. He's in private school. So he, unlike Detroit public school kids, our babies in DPS, I'm so glad that this funding's coming with NAACP and Skillman in the city of Detroit. I'm so glad, so grateful to the people on that team. I was on that team in a spiritual way. I was praying. I was like, we have to fix this. This digital divide for our babies is so unfair. But my son is on Google Classroom and he's killing it. I'm watching his confidence with all his A's and his high B's. His grades are killing right now. And he's doing the excellent work that I knew he could do without the distraction of some of the things that go with sending them to institutions. And so, so it's like, and then just the walks we've taken. We did a chalk thing that ended up in the Free Press. We went out with my neighbors, Rihanna, and their beautiful sons, Kingston and Donovan and her husband Patrick, and my neighbors are just beautiful people. And we went out and chalked all kinds of love messages all over the sidewalks, and he's a Jamaican brother. So he'd be grilling like, I got you 2 veggie burgers coming right up. I've received bread. Emily Rogers, the bass player, her and her partner baked this amazing bread and they delivered it to the door. My sister Malika Pryor, who's with the Detroit Historical Museum, I knew her husband made bread. And I was like, what's up with that bread? I know Cello over there making some bread because we used to live near each other in Atlanta. So I knew he could bake. So I knew they had some bread. So just like, we need to be people who drop off bread to porches after this. You know what I'm saying? We need to be that kind of community. Like, we need to be that again. And I think that's the light and that's the joy that will come out of this, is that we will become anew. Like, we will be better. We'll be a better people. Or become a people. In Detroit, I talk to my friends in other places, they don't quite get it. They don't quite get that everybody Black here knows each other. We know each other. Everybody know each other. Yep. Come on, if your friend didn't pass away, then your friend's friend did, or your friend's mama, or your friend's daddy, or your friend's sibling. Like, how much can our hearts take? And so I talked to Mama Joanne Watson about having a statewide memorial service by the water when this is over, because I think we need a clearing out. I think we need a serious clearing out. And I think the state right now, if I'm not mistaken, next Friday coming up, they want to do a candlelight visual on porches where everyone will come outside at dusk and have a candle. This is a statewide, so everyone in the state of Michigan come out on their porch and just light a candle. Because there's so much. I'm an empath, Joel, so I feel all of it. I mean, I'm trying to balance it out. And I've been fasting for Ramadan, which has been like very, very not, kind of focusing me in a different way, because all I've been doing is cooking. I've been cooking so much food. And so fasting during the day has helped me kind of just refocus, like what my energy needs to be on. It's helped me regain the writing. The writing has come back because I'm not eating so much. I'm writing more.
You're thriving during this time. It's not easy. It's tough. We're losing people, but you have this book. You feel me?
I'm sharing it. And that's all I want to do is share it. And and just pray that, I get through it, and that this summer something will give that we can actually make a living again. You know what I'm saying? But, because money is, money. Who cares? And we all need it. And I'm in a no different position than anybody else who doesn't have a job right now. But at the same time, my son is healthy. Like King is, we're not sick. You know what I mean? I just found out another friend of mine is sick. Two of my girlfriends have a mother and a father in nursing homes who both have COVID-19. But my mother is well. My immediate family's okay. So far, but I love my friends like family. So the distinction with blood is not so deep. And it's not just because my family's okay that I'm okay. That's not enough. I need you to be okay. I need everyone I love to be okay, not just, oh, my brothers and sisters are fine. And that's like some of these protesters, it's so selfish. It's about your immediate circle's okay. So you want to go fight for your baby to be at the park? It's funny. It's funny watching white people spiral because they don't feel like they're running. Like, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I was like, are you having a moment because you don't feel like you're actually running everything the way you're used to, feeling so entitled and so privileged?
Right.
Can you pause your privilege? Let's do a poem called Pause Your Privilege. Just pause your privilege for like 5 seconds and consider the lives of some other people.
I have questions and stuff, but I really honestly, I think listening to you talk is inspiring for me as a creative person, as a poet, and then also for other people watching this. It's like we need to know how to best thrive during this time. How to have some appreciation for what we have. It may not be perfect right now, but you're still doing what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I put on lipstick for this, everything. My locks need to be twisted, but yeah, you just kind of the little things, like the little things, little pockets of joy. I love the name because that's what it is. Oh, and my son is going online on Thursday to speak to boys through Say Aloud out of Dallas, Texas, to speak about young boys and the importance of journaling during this time and writing. He's going to be sharing some of his poetry. So yeah, King is doing that on Thursday. So I'm putting the young King to work. You got to do something in here besides drive me crazy. Quarantine with the teen. But it's definitely like the beautiful struggle. It's the balancing act of all of it, and I'm mothering through it all, and that's not always easy too, because it's my shout out to the parents who are in the house with their kids. I mean, it's just we love our babies, but just make sure. What I do, I've been starting to do my yoga practice again, and I'm not heavy on myself. If I'm fasting, I fast as well as I can fast. If I'm doing yoga and I miss a day, I go back to yoga the next day. You don't have to be like, I'm doing my workout plan, I'm gonna lose 15 pounds, I'm gonna read 300 books. I am reading a lot of books though, because I never had time to read. So actually it's a great time to read. So I am delving into books. I own a lot of books that I need to crack open. So I'm reading a few books now. And so, yeah.
You make it look easy. You know what I'm saying?
That's because I be crying when I'm off Zoom. I be crying in the shower. I be crying, man. I cry every day. It's not easy. I miss people. I'm the opposite of social distancing. I'm a people person, especially with my work. I'm private, actually, at home. When I'm home, I'm home. I'm kind of a recluse, even in Detroit. But can I tell you a funny story? I was at the CVS yesterday, and I came out. I got a mask on. I don't think I look cute. I got on some boots and a leather jacket. This brother, let me tell you, can we talk about quarantine and what's doing to brothers? This brother was in his, shout out to this brother in the black truck. And he wasn't bad looking brother, but he's in this truck. And he was like, yo. And I was like, he can't possibly be trying to holler at me, and I got this mask on. I was like, yo, you can't even see me, dude. I was like, what I didn't have on a tight outfit. I looked like a mom. I came out and I looked at him and I was like, he said, I know we're supposed to be social distancing, but I'm just saying, can I talk to you? I was like, really? Yo, I took my mask off and I bust out. I looked at him and I had never screamed, I'm married, and lied so loud in my life. I was like, I'm married. Nope, I'm married. A quarantine. Listen, got brothers like, really?
Yeah.
Yo, we like when women go outside, we have to be careful around y'all, because I'm like kind of worried about my safety. It was like the most, I was like, but I had a mask on, Joe. Like, dude, what you looking at? Are you attracted to my mask? Because my energy?
It's your vibe. He felt it. Come on now, that's strong. That's that black girl juice. He's like, ooh.
It was a little pocket of, it was a moment of joy. It made me laugh. really hard in the car. So I ain't mad at the brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still got it with the mask on. Thank you. Shout out to Sheila Palmer, who I got my first mask from. She's been making beautiful masks in Detroit. And I got 2 from her early. And then my neighbors got me the 9.5 mask. In the beginning, I didn't realize how serious this was. And so, you know, just grateful for like all the things in my kitchen that people are going to get, I already had in my kitchen. And so I think as a community, if we want to talk about like what needs to happen, that we absolutely have to take care of ourselves better. We have to be prepared for pandemics, but the pandemic, not the COVID-19, we have to be just taking care of our community better. And take organic away from rich people, take organic away from another culture, right? We assume anything organic ain't Black. Organic is Black.
Oh, very.
Black, but our people don't know that, right? Yeah. You know, you get accused with some too much green stuff on your plate of being accused of eating like a white person. So this ignorance that's in our community when it comes to like how we eat, you know, my son's been vegetarian 12, 13, all his life, basically 13 years. And now he wants to eat wild caught salmon. Well, wild caught because that's all I'll let him eat and some wild caught tuna. But because of that, you know, God, you know, willing, he'll stay safe. But I have prepared him, you know what I mean? So that if things like this arise, that we can survive. And if we got COVID-19, that we would live, right? And that's the idea, like to be strong enough that your body is equipped, your immune system is strong. And we got to start doing that. Like the soul food, the things that feed our soul, you know, it's diabetes, right? It's high blood pressure, it's heart attack, it's stroke. Like those are the things that we can eliminate from our community. We have kids out here who are obese for no reason. Like, you know, our babies can't, the drive-thrus are open. I said, cut them off, close the drive-thrus, the McDonald's and the Burger Kings. And we don't, you know, that garbage, that 99-cent menu that's killing poor people, right? That's what we have to get away from. And I get it because, but it's systematically set up so that if, you know, I got my kid, there's a mother that's got 6 by herself. So I get it. When you have a certain income, you know, but if we take some of that meat out of our diet, you know what I mean? You can really save money. People, it's not expensive to be vegetarian. It really isn't. If you just go to the farmer's market, you know, like go to the places and get your vegetables on. And so we have to just redirect. And we have to heal ourselves. We have to like start doing it. I told Queen of Food actually inboxed me on Instagram, like, yes, put the message out there, sis, like we got to get our kitchens to be like Queen of Food style. Like the kitchen can't just be for food. The food has to be the thing that's keeping us healthy. It's got to be our medicine cabinet. Medicine cabinet not in the bathroom. Medicine cabinet is in the kitchen. Like I don't got no vitamins in my bathroom. That's why I put my lip gloss on. The kitchen, that's where everything is. The black seed oil, the ginger, the herbs, all those things that keep us healthy. It's right next to the food because we have to look at it as the same thing, right? So that's been good. I mean, you know, I'm learning through this, and I'm trying to teach through this and give like pointers on what to do. And I don't think I have it all figured out at all. But I'm happy to have art, and I'm happy to have poems, and I'm grateful to have spaces like this so that I can not feel like I'm by myself and going crazy. I got an Instagram show now too. You got to
Let's talk about that. I just want to say to anybody watching, I'm grateful to you. Like you're just this nurturing person. Anybody that knows Jessica personally knows Jessica will make you a meal. You sit on her couch. She got books. She got records. She got a background of people. Like she just you nurture people, and you get that love back because you deserve it.
Thank you.
That's real. Like, everything you're saying, this is like a guidebook to how to make the most out of this time.
Yeah.
Like for what you're saying right now, all of this. So thank you.
I love you. Thank you. Yeah, my Instagram show is Tuesdays at 7:00. I think it's hilarious to have an Instagram show. My guests, this comes out on when it'll be over. So the next guest I have on May 5th will be Dean Edwards, comedian from Saturday Night Live. He's coming, and Lisa Garza and her son are performing on the show. They're amazing. So they perform together now. Lisa, bad poet. From Michigan, actually from Fluent, and I've known her for a long time, my indigenous sister. And so I'm always having a musical guest. And if you're watching this on Wednesday, you just missed Mahogany Jones and Omar Reagan, a comedian from Detroit who's doing beautiful work to raise money during Ramadan for families who are struggling to find food. And so he's a Detroit brother, but in LA, just really been all over the world. And so, yeah, I'm trying to bring the inspirational, beautiful people that are in my life. I'm bringing them on the show. Like Malcolm X Day, I have Willie Perdomo, an incredible poet, is coming on. And One Below, Binary Star, credible MC. I got Wordsworth coming up. You should do the Wordsworth show. I mean, we got to talk about it, but this is like what we're doing. Like artists are taking to the internet. Like, Jay Ivey got a show on Wednesdays. My brother in Chicago. On Wednesdays, he had Abiel Dune on. Kevin Powell's got a new show, The Session with Kevin Powell, on Fridays. And I'm promoting everything because we need each other, right? And we need to be, and artists get fed by the people.
You got this book, We Want Our Bodies Back. Are you going to share something from the book?
Yes, and I'm telling people to go to barnesandnobles.com or to a local bookstore to order the book online. We can go to Amazon, but I think Barnes & Noble is better at doing the scanning thing to actually give you credit for the sales, which helps me. In local bookstores. Some independent stores don't do that either. So my agent told me to tell people barnesandnobles.com. But wherever you want to get the book. Source Booksellers here in Detroit is the local bookstore that I've been giving the love to. So what you want me to read? I don't know. What should I read?
I love that. I used to be a roller coaster girl.
I'll read it.
But, if you read that one, can you read another one too?
Yeah.
All right, so 2 poems. Awesome. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this.
I used to be a roller coaster girl. I wrote that for Ntozake Shange. I got to be with Ntozake a few weeks before. Well, I got to talk to her a few weeks before she passed, but I got to spend some time with her this summer before she passed away. And I'm so grateful for that. We're sitting at a table. It's me, Ntozake Shange, and the last poets. So Dune, Umar Babatunde, and Sonia Sanchez. It was crazy. I spent the weekend with them in Miami, Florida during the Maroon Festival. And I went there on my own. I just decided, I found out from Aja Monet, the poet who's organizing it, where the legends were going to be staying. And I flew myself there, got myself a room at the hotel that was expensive as hell. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going. I'm paying for their hotel because I want to be with my elders and I spent that breakfast every morning with them. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I was sitting with Ntozake, long story short, and I said, we were talking about something. And I said, Ntozake, I used to be a roller coaster girl. And I said it just like that. And then I ended up writing this poem after she passed away, just about, little girls and what happens with us, the little girls who are wild like me, little town girls from the west side of Detroit. So anyway, this is for Ntozake, and it begins the second chapter of my book, which is called I Put a Spell on You, which my book is separated by Nina Simone songs. I used to be a roller coaster girl. 7 times in a row, no vertical in these skinny legs, my lipstick bubblegum pink as my Panther 10 speed, never kissed. Nappy pigtails, no brand gym shoes, white line, yellow short shorts, scratched up legs, pedaling past borders of hummus and baba ganoush, moshes and liquor stores, city chicken, pepperoni bread, and Superman ice cream cones. Yellow, black, blended with bits of Arabic, Islam, and Catholicism. My daddy was Jesus. My mother was quiet. Jane Kennedy was worshiped by my brother Mark. I don't remember having my own bed before 12. Me and my sister Lisa shared. Sometimes all 3 more girls slept in that queen. You grow up so close, never close enough. I used to be a roller coaster girl, wild child full of flowers and ideas, useless crushes on Polish boys in a school full of white girls. Future Black Swan singing Zeppelin, U2, and Rick Springfield, hoping to be Jesse's girl. I could outrun my brothers and everybody else to that recurring line. I used to be a roller coaster girl. Till you told me I was moving too fast, said my rush made your head spin, my laughter hurt your ears. A scream of happiness, a scream of freedom pouring out my armpits, sweating up my neck. You were always the scared one. I kept my eyes open for the entire trip. Right before the drop, I would brace myself and let that force push my head back into that hard iron seat. My arms nearly fell off a few times till I kept running back to that line. When I was done, same way, I kept running back to you. I used to be a roller coaster girl. I wasn't scared of mountains or falling. Hell, I look forward to flying and dropping off this earth and coming back to life every once in a while. I found some peace in being out of control, allowing my blood to race through my veins for 180 seconds. I earn my sometimes nicotine pull. I buy my own damn drinks, and the ocean still calls my name when it feels my toes near its shore. I still love roller coasters. And you grew up to be afraid of all girls who could ride fearlessly like me.
better read the poems. Come on.
Listen, I'm reading the poem from my living room, live from the living room. Let's go. Woo. I should read something different. You know, I'm trying to think what I haven't read yet, what I haven't shared out the book.
Whatever you like.
So Tango Ison Martin, one of my favorite poets out of the Bay Area, the king of California, and a dear friend of mine. We've been doing a lot of readings. We got one coming up together too online. After Heaven is All Goodbyes. I spent a lot of time in the Bay. I was producing Black in Rock at the Yerba Buena Center, and I had a residency at Skyline College. Like, I think it was 2018. I was living between Detroit and San Francisco. And I got to spend a lot of time with this brother named Tango Ison Martin, who really showed me Black San Francisco. Like, he would be the person, like, if somebody comes to Detroit, and I'm like, no. You have to come to me so I can show you Detroit. Because if someone comes from outside, they just see the new stuff and they don't know the history. And so he's that really, like, that movie, The Last Black Man of San Francisco. I was like, yo, that is so you, Tango. Like, that's you. So this is a poem that I wrote kind of inspired by some of my time with him. It's called After Heaven is All Goodbyes, which is the name of his very incredible book of poetry. I would drink the coffee if it wasn't hot, burnt tires. If you swallow gentrification, how many days before you get out a strip mall? Or maybe all those hurricanes are the indigenous burial grounds waking up. My sweet tooth cannot survive the poor people's sugar tax. The janky tour guide is the tallest piece of sunshine on this entire peninsula. Thank God for Mississippi and after school programs, still waiting for the Pacific to turn into a deep cup of Black resistance. Page Street, they call it downtown. The beauty is always in the core of the body of the building. How high must the heel be to really get close to the roof of that empire, wondered the woman disguised as poet. It's okay that he cusses, says the 11-year-old magician. He says it real cool and it isn't loud. He simply lands the, can I cuss? He simply lands the correctly in the sentence. Ashes from last year's fire make an entrance. The scent of burning flesh is sometimes a hot cup of joe. New shoes against forced blacktop. I'm a language scientist. Y'all keep placing that rock in my hands. I just want one morning without caffeine. Something I could drink to fight this false sunny. Ripping through these cold Detroit bones. There is no shelter when the sun is traveling through your veins. What time is it today? Light years. So something different.
I love that.
I'm a hopeless romantic. So I write, I have these really beautiful friendships with brothers, you included, that really feed me in a different kind of way, as a woman, like really important friendships that keep me balanced and solid. Like everyone thinks like, I think there's a misnomer that, in Western society, you find this one person and marry, and that person like has all the things that you need to fulfill yourself and make you whole. And I think it's just silly, and I'm a person that's been married a couple times, and I still find that we need some redefinition in that space too. That's a whole nother show. So yeah, I love Tango. I love Brad Walron, my friend, poet out of New York City, who actually helped me and do the first edits of We Want Our Bodies Back. He's an incredible poet. He's got a book called Everywhere Alien that I'm going to be publishing as soon as I start publishing again. So,
right. Yeah, I noticed you got a poem to him in this book, actually. I peeped that.
Yeah, that's the one I think I just read, but I might have more than one. He inspired a few, but that's the one with his name in it. Nice. The Bay Area, I felt like I was going to have a whole book just for being in the Bay. Very inspirational kind of, place. The gentrification there is rampant. It's sad. You make cities like New York and San Francisco unlivable, for the people that really make the city great. And hope that never happens in Detroit. It's happened on some level. People have been pushed out of Cass Corridor. And then, living downtown is just like crazy now. I lived in Corktown for 8 years. And before that, I lived in Woodbridge. And before that, I lived at the Lofts of Merchant Row. So that's where I've been living. I've been living in the middle of the transformation of downtown, midtown, Detroit, right? Changing all that. And some of it hurts real bad, and because Detroit people don't, if you look at the people with the median income, like nothing should be over $1,000, nothing should be over $1,200 for rent. When you start seeing rents at 15 and 2,000 and up, it's no longer for the people who built the city. It's no longer for the people who thrive and have families here. That's why I ended up buying a house in Boston Edison, because I wanted to own something here. Because instead of I was getting tired of talking and renting. I was like, no, I need to buy. And yeah, and so happy to own here, you know. And Detroit's a good place. It's a spiritual place, but we need some healing. Woo, we need some healing. And I'm gonna need some healing. We all gonna need it. I think when it all comes down, I might just collapse. You know what I mean? Like when I actually, with the realization of the people that are gone, you know, because we're in our homes, so you don't realize that they're not here. When you start going out, like, you know, Marlo is such an important force in the city. I mean, that's just heartbreaking. I was just with Marlo at the Red Wings for the National Hockey League. Just hooked me up with some people from NHL for my son King, who you know plays hockey, and we're all this great work that we're doing with the program to get hockey and street hockey that the Red Wings is actually investing in to get street hockey into schools here, which is amazing, and helping to get money to the Butzel Arena in Clark Park and places where Black and brown children play hockey, and such an important piece of Detroit. And I'm glad that the Red Wings stepped up. But Marlo is a part of that conversation, you know, and so you know definitely a player with the arts, but also the business community, and so. Yeah, dad and a husband, and I couldn't even imagine. And so, yeah, the heartbreaks, man, are hard, but whew, you know, you just have to. That's why I think I've been praying to everybody. I'm fasting for Ramadan. I'm listening to like this brother Jonathan McReynolds. I'm been listening to Kurt Franklin. Listen, I was like, I need Black Jesus. I need Allah. I need Oya. I need my aunt. I'm definitely gonna do an altar in my backyard for like the Orishas. You know, all that African, you know, indigenous, all that spirituality is connected to what I believe in, right? And I ain't mad at Nam Yo Horeke Yo, like meditation and prayer. Like shout out to the Buddhist community here. So we need everybody on board, you know, to get us through this. So
we do.
Yes, and get my book. My book is a healing book. We got to talk about it. I want you to read some more of it. I got some cool quotes in the back. Boots Riley quoted it with his crazy self. Boots and Talib Kweli's back here. One of my favorite quotes is Tango. Actually, other people quoted the book, but they didn't make it in time for the cover. But Tracy K. Smith, the U.S. Poet Laureate, I mean, she just blessed me on up, you know. So, you know, I mean, Tracy's amazing. For her to say like the things that she said, a lyric encyclopedia, a psalm book, a conflagration of fire and fierce Black joy. I'm like,
it's insane.
Yeah.
I was with you at Detroit Public Theater when you showed me a text or something from her. And I was like, what? Who just has a U.S. Poet Laureate in their phone? I can't deal with this.
I'm friends with all them. Listen, I'm trying to get some look. I'm getting the reviews have been amazing for the book. And it's funny because I've never cared about reviews, but it's been so amazing. Like all that beautiful articles, like Essence Magazine has given me great reviews. I've been in a Ms. Magazine roundup, you know, best poetry books of 2020. So I'm blessed and happy that the energy, that's why you know it's energy, because I'm not even outside, and the energy of the book is still, like today I got 3 or 4 from the HarperCollins publicist, 3 or 4 links to different reviews. You know, so Paperback Paris did a great review of it. So I mean, and they're out of Michigan, so it's a good look. I think we're gonna go crazy though. I think once the artist gets the stages, I think we're gonna like, it's gonna be the energy. I can't wait to connect. I can't wait to connect with an audience. I can't wait till we ain't scared. I'm scared. I'm in the CVS like, could you please fall back? Like, I'm not trying to get sick.
Yeah.
This kid to take care of, and I don't have that to do. So, and it's real for people who think it's not. It is. If you've lost as many people as I have lost, then you'll understand how real it is. And so, take care of each other. Keep reading great books. Keep creating. You keep creating. You know, we got to write, make music. I recorded for Kareem Riggins during this time period. I made a song with Kareem. He sent me music. So God willing, good enough, and I'll be on his next album. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So those things keep me happy. Those are the moments of joy.
Right now, you're giving people all around the world a chance to really get to know you and connect, if they don't already, through this book. So then once everything opens up, they would be familiar with the poems. They would have the spirit in your soul.
Yeah.
You know? So
I'm gonna be crying and reading poems. I'm gonna be a mess.
But because of what's going on now, this takes on like an even more important role. It was already important work. That you're intentional about your love for Black women, standing up for Black people. You know,
Yeah, but we want our bodies back is so real right now for me in so many ways. It means so much more now. And it changes depending on what you're thinking about. But yeah, it's really wanting our bodies back in a real way. And I know, and I have a lot of friends in New York City and my friends who have been sick there. So I've been just heavy on being like, come on, I need my friends to stay with me. We need them body, mind, spirit. I need them to push through. And some of my friends have, but it's hard even when your friends are sick. It's hard. It's hard when they're sick. Shout out to Baba Sundiata, who was in ICU, who's home now. I mean, I don't think I could have survived that one. So when he called me, I cried. Just to hear his voice, it was light. But I needed to hear his voice because I was going, I was trying to be respectful and not call. And at some point I was like, I need him to check in with me. I'm one of his daughters. And I love the Mausi family a lot. Hassan was my dear, dear friend, my brother. And so, his brothers and his, and Shahida, they're just such important people in the city for me. And so, yeah, shout out to the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, who actually did a big drive for money too. Like, the institutions that are trying to raise money for artists and keep us going. Shout out to Rachel Riley in City Detroit and Mitch Album, attempting to find people who still, if you're blessed with a job, if you're blessed to be able to work from home, then contribute something to the artist community. That's what I would like to say to people. Like, if you didn't lose your job, think of people who really don't have any other income except coming out to give their art to the world, to give something towards one of those causes that helps us.
Bam, you heard it from the legend herself, Miss Jessica Care Moore. Show some love. You working at home, you on your little laptop.
I am.
Buy this book. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to Source.
Anywhere, a local bookstore. If you want to go to Amazon, I ain't mad at you either. I just need people to have the book by any means necessary. Get it. It's great for girls. It's great for young girls. Great for high school girls, especially college age. Yeah, or whoever. So thank you. I love you.
I love you too. And
thank you, Detroit Historical, for having me. I appreciate it. We're supposed to do this in person, so shout out to my sister, Malika Pryor.
Well, this is our last one of this series. So I want to say personally, thank you, Detroit Historical Society, for allowing us to do this. They are the place that tells Detroit stories and why they matter, which is really important. So thank you, DHS. Thank you, Malika Pryor, from the bottom of my heart, for like bringing your boy on, because I got to work, I got to eat too. And thank you. We all got to make it happen. So thank you. I love knowing people that are this committed and that inspire me. And I love you. You inspire me. You're the definition of bossy commitment. Like, you just that deal. And I tell you all the time, you're the best of us, and I mean that. You really are.
Thank you.
And I hope that my poetry community in Detroit is watching this, because come on, like, wake up. It's time to really do some big things, and open mics ain't gonna be it.
I try to lead by example, and my audience isn't full of poets, it's full of people. And that's fine too. But the poets do have to figure out a way to graduate from open mics. I did that a long time ago. If I show to open mic, it's just because I won't feel like it. I have a night off, but those nights are not frequent as a single parent, and so it's hard. But yeah, I mean, you have to, and I've been trying to elevate my work in that way. That's why I wrote a Technochoria poem. That's why I write theater and do music, because I get really bored. Just the poems are just, it doesn't do enough for me creatively, So I think that, folks will find more creative ways, but you can only lead the horse to water. You can't.
You gotta drink.
Drink the water. But we have to lead. You have to lead by example. You lead, and I lead, and we lead. And some of us lead, and some folks will. If I've changed anyone or inspired anyone or two, I'm cool. You know what I mean? And this work is global work. My work is global, and so there's open mic and poets all over the country and all over the world. There's open mics in South Africa. There's open mics in Brazil. There's open mics in London, and so we all have some work to do as a global community to make sure our community is growing and getting better, and that people talk about us when we're gone. That we're leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Of great writing, of great material. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Not to be the greatest person at the open mic, but to say, okay, this is what I left behind. Something that your kids can eat off of. I'm trying to build things that King can benefit from when I'm no longer here. If not, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Just, self-gratification. It's not enough.
Come on now. Talk about it. Real.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you, Joel. You're amazing.
Hear more DHS. Thank you. I will see you guys soon. Be safe, be peaceful, stay in the house, wash them hands, take care of your family, love yourself. Flynn it out. Earl Flynn. I love
Flynn. Wash your hands and Earl Flynn.
Right. That's how you do it, right? By Earl Flynn in that sink, right?
Exactly. Bye.